My name is Ashley, and this is Let's Talk Dispatch.
I do. You're gonna do it. Do it really well.
And I believe the world needs more dispatchers.
Around in the mud, blood, and
plus
beer.
years that I'm not working 4th of July. 4th of July.
Say community policing, right? What about community dispatching?
So on this show, with the help of my guests, we will educate, empower, and support the heroes behind the headset.
Right.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here on Let's Talk Dispatch. Today, I'm extremely excited to get back onto the topic of nutrition and health, because I know it's something that us in the dispatch world, in the world of shift work, can be a struggle. Long shifts, night shifts, kind of finding a routine of what we should eat, when we should eat, and how we can meal prep in order to make our lives a little easier during our work week. I think it's something that we all search for answers to. I know when I was younger and I was hooping and whatnot, like I meal prepped consistently. Now as I'm getting older, I'm in shift work. I'm definitely trying to find my way back into meal prepping and really getting a consistent schedule, and more importantly, finding simple ways to meal prep. And to answer that question and assist us adding stuff to our tool belt, today I'm going to be bringing on Angela, whose expertise is helping folks meal prep and, more importantly, find simple ways to meal prep so they can stay consistent. Hey, Angela, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. How are you, Ashley?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I actually was introduced to you after I went on had on Roger Sutherland on an earlier episode. He was like, I have someone who's like right up your alley. She's great, meal prep, and he connected us. So I'm so thankful for him introducing us virtually so we can make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so happy that we are here, that we're here and that our paths are crossed as well. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your program, and what you got going on over there at the Healthy Diary.
Of course. So hello, everyone. I'm Angela Borges. I'm also known as the Healthy Diary on social media. And I am a weight loss nutritionist specializing in helping professionals, most specifically busy professionals, help them optimize their nutrition so that they can feel and look their best without dieting, without tracking any sort of points, calories, without spending hours in the kitchen, and without spending hours at the gym or any sort of overwhelm. So I know it can get hard for busy professionals to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but it is 100% possible, and that is my mission in everything that I do. So I live in Melbourne, Australia, but I was born and raised in a beautiful country called Peru in South America, and therefore the accent. Yeah, and I'm also known as the meal prep queen, so I'm very, very excited to be talking to you about that specific topic.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about it because I think you are correct when you say busy professionals. And I think for the audience that I work with, first responders, dispatchers, I think busy is the best way to describe our lives in general. And I think a lot of folks who are in this line of work are looking for people who get that, and I think a lot of times when we do this research and we try to figure out, what's the best plan for us, what's the best way for us to be healthy, we find a lot of programs that don't really consider the busy individual and how these plans can affect them. And quite frankly, calorie counting or point counting, it can be a little of a downer, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It can be very time consuming, overwhelming, and it can be a little bit it can have a negative impact on your relationship with food over time as well, because it gets obsessive when you do it for a long period of time. It's okay to do it for a short period of time as a little bit of awareness, but it is an exhausting exercise. And you're so right. I have a lot of clients who come and see me and they're like, Ange, I went to see a dietitian, a nutritionist. I started this program. It sounded amazing. But then I look at the recipes or I look at the plans and I spend 4 hours in the kitchen getting myself sorted. So it might be realistic for 1 or 2 weeks when you're motivated. But when motivation starts like fading out and when you start getting busy, it's just not realistic long term.
Totally true. And I mean, you are like the queen of reels and getting a lot of information out there in nice packages where people can consume it and understand it. So I really enjoy watching all your your reels on Instagram, and because I feel like you're giving us a lot of information in a fun way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important to me to get that content out there and helping people because it's I know what it feels like to be in their position. And when I create my content, I always think about that person and what would they benefit from and how can I make the message simple, like easy, so that they just watch it and they're like, okay, I'm gonna make that recipe, or okay, I'm gonna put that one tip into practice. So my content is very easy to digest for that same reason, because the people that are watching, they don't have a lot of time to implement the tips and the strategies. So that's the reason why I do that. I'm also on TikTok, and it's the same type of content as well.
So how did you get into this nutrition? Like, how did you get into this type of work?
Yeah. So I started, it was based on my own struggles and experience. I was a yo-yo dieter for my, like, most of my life. Like, I started at the age of 13 with my mom. The background that I come from, like, weight, it's like people don't greet you with a hello, they greet you with, oh, you've gained weight. So weight loss is something that it has always been on my mind. And I was a professional dancer from the age of 5 to 13. And I quit dancing because I was just over it. And when I quit dancing, that's when I started gaining weight rapidly. And I was only 13 years old. And that was not like, it was like a foreign topic for me. I was like, what is going on in my body? I started my first diet with my mom. And since then, I've been dieting until my late 20s. And always a yo-yo dieter, trying this diet, the new diet, Dukan, keto, you name it, I probably tried it. And I got to a point where I was just sick of it. I was sick of it. And I was like, there must be like a better way to do this. I can't live my life like dieting. I can't live my life like feeling miserable or hiding in the photos. It's just not, I'm not happy. Like, what can I do to make this sustainable? So then I started making a couple of tweaks within my lifestyle, and I basically focused on habits more than anything. I wasn't doing anything restrictive anymore. I was more like, all right, let's just walk a little bit more, or let's just eat this one healthy meal. And then I started seeing results, and I got my degree in nutrition and learned about evidence-based nutrition. And that's how I got certified. I've done a lot of certifications on mindset as well, because mindset is like the biggest thing when it comes to healthy living. And then yes, so I started running my business and working my 9 to 5. So I was like super busy. Like, I used to work from 4 a.m. all the way until 9 p.m. every single day, running these two things at a time. And my meal prep used to take me 4 hours, and I was like, okay, that's not possible anymore. I can't spend 4 hours a week meal prepping. There needs to be a different way to do it. So that's when I got into this no prep, meal prep concept, where I use foods that are already they're like kind of pre-made for you. And we're like shortening the time that they take to make. And then my prep now takes somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes. Again, I had to do that in order to keep going with my healthy lifestyle, because running a business and working full time, it just wasn't realistic. So that's how I got into it.
That's so cool. And it's always like astonishing to me. And I'm always very amazed when people are telling their stories of how they found something and how it goes from like one huge life event to just creating this amazing thing that has, I'm sure, helped so many people and going to continue to help a lot of folks. It's like I stopped playing basketball, you stop dancing, and then all of a sudden our lifestyles change. It's like, oh, like what now? And I think that's what a lot of folks who are in this line of work are having to deal with, especially folks who are coming in as entry levels and they're starting to work graveyard, or they're starting to work, they're searching for this information of how I can live a healthy lifestyle being busy, so I'm able to continue to help other people in the thing that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I get you. And the thing is that with a healthy lifestyle, like the first thing that comes to people's mind when you think about healthy lifestyle is overwhelmed, spending lots of time in the kitchen, cooking everything from scratch, going to the gym. So that's the first, because that we've been conditioned to think that way by like our culture, our society. But it can be absolutely different to that. And you don't have to spend all of that time doing those things.
Awesome. So what would your advice be about meal prepping? Like what is the first thing you kind of tell folks who are looking to get into the type of meal prepping you're promoting and you enjoy doing?
Yeah, of course. So the first thing that I would recommend for people who are getting into meal prepping, first of all, meal prepping is very important, especially if you're trying to get healthier, if you're trying to stay on track with your eating habits, because preparation in everything that you do is priority number one, because you can't expect to stay on track with your healthy habits if you haven't done the pre-work. All right. And let me tell you, working on a Wednesday and going to the fridge and grabbing your container, it's just like the best feeling ever, not having to worry about, okay, what am I going to eat? How much should I be eating? Where are my ingredients? Yeah, that's the recipe for disaster. So when it comes to meal prepping, to make it less overwhelming, I have a 3-phase framework that I will recommend to everyone out there, especially if you're a shift worker. So it goes like this. We separate them into planning, purchasing, and prepping. All right. So the first phase is planning, and I would recommend that you do this probably like during your break, like within the week. So in this phase, all you need to do is you just need to decide what you're going to be cooking. That's it. How many meals you're going to be cooking. All right, I'm going to do 1 breakfast for the week, 2 lunches for the week. For my dinners, there will be like a little bit more variety. So these are the meals that I'm going to cook, and then make a grocery shopping list from there. That's the planning side of things. Don't worry about everything else. Just make sure that you have your grocery shopping list ready. That's it. So the second phase is purchasing, which is basically grocery shopping. So this phase is something that you have to do regardless, because you need to eat. You need to go and get your food. So, but now you're gonna go with your grocery shopping list. You're gonna get the things that you need, and when you're prepared, it should take you like an hour and 15 minutes max. So come back home, put your groceries away. You don't have to worry about anything else. That's the second phase of meal prepping. Now, with that second phase, one big tip that I will share is to make sure that you eat before you go and do your groceries. Because if you don't, yeah, you're gonna be buying like whatever you can see, and like, this sounds good. I'm gonna have this and that. So yeah, you're gonna end up overbuying and buying things that you don't really need. All right. So that's the second phase. And then we have the third phase, which is prepping. So actually making the meals and putting that together. So because you've done the work, you've already planned, and you've already got your ingredients, this last stage should take you about 30 to 60 minutes. And this is where you put your meals together. Now, what I would recommend is that you schedule this in your calendar, and you're like, all right, Sundays or Mondays or your days off, this is when I meal prep. 1 hour in my calendar to meal prep and just meal prep. Because if you're going to be doing things here and there and getting distracted and doing this other thing, it can really become a long process of 3 to 4 hours, because you're doing things in between. So what I like to do, for example, on Sundays, I wake up, have my breakfast, and then I meal prep, schedule 1 hour. Normally it takes me 30 to 45 minutes. Get that out of the way, put the containers in the fridge, and then have the rest of the Sunday off. I don't even remember that I've meal prep on Sundays. I'm like, oh yeah, I did it this morning. But when you do it in that way, with the 3-phase meal prep, it won't feel like an overwhelming exercise. And it works for a lot of my clients. So that's what I would normally recommend to make it less time consuming and overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it, especially, and I can definitely relate that when I do meal prep and all I have to do is wake up, grab everything, put it in my lunch pail, whatever that looks like for you, and just head out the door. It just makes my day go by so much easier, and it creates it provides fuel, right, during my shift, right? Like I don't have to sit there. 9 o'clock rolls around. I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm like, oh, but I don't even have a lunch with me. So what am I gonna have for lunch? And then all of a sudden, me and my partner are door dashing, and there's so much expenses on that. On top of it, it's not the most healthy food, right? And so it just becomes a spiral when I don't have those meals prepared. And I think that's what we want to try to avoid too, is like that spiral that comes from the lack of preparation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that with meal prepping, you don't have to cook things if you don't want to. I understand it's not just about the time, but some people, they just don't like cooking at all. Like I know a lot of those people, and they're like, no, it's just the kitchen is not my thing, and that's okay. What you can do is, and this is where my no prep meal prep method comes into place. So what I do is I buy things that are already done. And to give you an example, when it comes to protein sources, for example, you've got rotisserie chicken, turkey burgers, you've got pre-boiled eggs. Like you can buy the eggs are already boiled. You can get like tuna cans, like pulled pork. You have all of these protein sources that are already pre-made for you. With the burgers, all you have to do is just chuck them in the oven and you don't have to worry about them. And then with the carbohydrates, you can buy some pre-cooked rice, some pita wraps, bread, some pre-cooked pasta, so already done for you. With the veggies, you have like frozen veggies, salad mixes. You guys in the States, you have some really, really delicious salad mixes. I was there like a couple of months ago, and there was this Caesar salad mix from Trader Joe's, I think. So good. It was so delicious. And you could like easily have that with a turkey burger, and it comes with the croutons, and you can have it like in a wrap as well. And you're done. And you're not even like cooking anything. It's already done for you. So don't feel bad for using processed foods. There's processed foods and there's processed foods. So of course, if you're consuming ultra processed foods, like things like, I don't know, like bacon, like things that have been like really, really processed. But if you're using things that are wholesome and they're just packaged for you, or they just washed for you, or they just like cook for you, then those are healthier processed foods, like more wholesome foods. So use them. It will save you time, energy, and mental power as well.
I think that's a great point, because I do think there is a stigma, right? That if it's not home cooked, you didn't shred it yourself, you didn't thaw it, and then throw it on the pan yourself, that it's not as healthy, or it's not, or it's not good for you. And I do think that from what you're describing, and if the alternative is us not eating or eating poorly, right? Like we're going to want to go for the more wholesome option, which is the thing that's already I think that describing it that way, it's like it's not bad for you, it's just already packaged for you. You know what I mean? Like so I really like that way of looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with your snacks as well, for example, you can just go with on-the-go snacks. You don't even have to prep your snacks. You can just get like an apple with some cheese, yogurt with fruit, or you can go like protein bar, protein shake. So just focus on things that will save you time and energy. You don't have to cook everything from scratch. That's like the biggest misconception when it comes to healthy eating. And that's what make people like overwhelmed, just thinking about, oh my God, now I have to cook all my meals from scratch. And yeah, it's just like a big no for me. And all of my clients, like they go from, like they literally tell me that they saved somewhere between 8 to 10 hours a week, just by following the methods that I share with the meal prep and the recipes that I share as well, that are like really simple.
Yeah, and I think the recipe sharing is huge, because I think that's something that we can get into a lull a bit too in regards to when we meal prep. Whatever manner you do it, is like, I had chicken last week, or like I just caught every third week I'm doing the same recipe. So finding folks who have creative recipes, easy recipes like the ones that you share, I think has tremendous value for everyone who in general, but especially the busy workers.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's why I like to, like, if you go to my Instagram, you'll find, like, I've been sharing recipes since 2018. So there's about like more than 1,000 recipes there probably. But when it comes to recipes, and to keep it fun, right? Because not everyone likes to eat the same every day. Like, some people do, but most people just don't. So first of all, when you, like, during the first stage of your meal prep, like the planning stage, that's what I would recommend, that you actually think about, what do I want to eat? Like, what am I craving? It's so important that whatever you make for your meal prep are things that you actually feel like and you're looking forward to have. Because there's nothing worse than prepping for the whole week. You got your boiled chicken with your salad. Wednesday comes and you're like, no, I feel like something else. I'm just going to order something. So make sure that whatever you eat are things that you enjoy. Make sure that you're incorporating your carbohydrates. Make sure that you're incorporating your healthy fats, so that you're getting the satisfaction factor out of that. Because when it comes to healthy eating, we always think about, okay, salad, protein, cutting carbs, cutting sugar. But the reality is that that's not sustainable. So again, you might do it for a couple of weeks, but, like, come on, who doesn't like carbs?
Right.
So make sure that you are incorporating all of those foods that you enjoy into your prep, so you can actually stick to it long term. So if you need a little bit of variety, what I like to do is I like to pick 2 recipes for my lunches, and I like to alternate between them. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, one recipe. Tuesday, Thursday, second recipe, if you need the variety. Or what you can do instead, to give you even more variety, is to, instead of prepping individual meals, what you can do is prep your ingredients. And for example, you can prep 2 to 3 protein sources, different veggies, different carb sources. And then when the day comes and you're like, oh, I really feel like a salad with rice and chicken, then you got your chicken, your rice, your salad container, sauce, off you go. Or the next day you might feel like, oh no, I feel like a wrap, like a vegetarian wrap. So that's when you can grab the eggs, veggies, different sauce, and you have like something different to eat every day if you want to. So that's what we call the mise en place meal prep, type of meal prep, where you prep your ingredients, leave everything ready, and on the day you just pick and choose what you want to have as well.
See, what I love about what you're doing is that, yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of different options to fit different folks, right? So it's all geared around the same concept, but it's like, hey, if you can alternate the breakfast. If you're not really, you don't know what you're, just meal prep the vegetables and the ingredients, and then you can kind of figure it out as you go, but all with the same goal in mind, which is cutting time and staying consistent and healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because every person is different, and you can't expect someone to do the same thing that you're doing, because you don't know if they might like it. You don't know if they might have a different lifestyle, different schedule as well. Because my schedule will be very different to your schedule. So this is why it's so important for me to make sure that I provide a tailor approach, especially when I'm working with my client. I sit down with her and we talk about, all right, what do you do for work? How much time do you have available to make all of this happen? Every person is different, and I have people who follow me and they're like, yeah, I love your recipes. They're fantastic, but I just prep my ingredients. Or like Roger, for example, he does a bulk type of meal prep. So he cooks something like in a pot, and what he does is he just every day he just goes and grabs his portion, which is a different type of meal prep. So yeah, it's in order to get it's really important that you make this work for you, because at the end of the day, you are the one who will need to stay on track with this. So whatever you do, make sure that you enjoy it and that you see yourself doing this long term as well. And if you don't, then change it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your Lean Body and Strong Mindset program. What does that look like?
Yeah, so Lean Body and Strong Mindset is a program that I've been running since 2018. So it's my signature program, and it's a 90-day, so 3-month program that I've created to help women, because I work with women inside that program, slim down in a way that is realistic, sustainable, and in a way that they can finally stick to long term. And my program, the reason for the name Lean Body and Strong Mindset is because there is a big focus on mindset. There is a big focus on habit, because the only way for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle is by developing those habits that you can put on autopilot, so you don't even have to think about them. So the same way that you go and brush your teeth first thing in the morning should be the same way that you go and make a healthy meal without even like thinking about that. So it is a 90-day program that helps my clients, yes, lose the weight, but most importantly, doing it without dieting, tracking, and saving themselves a lot of time and developing the habits of a person who can maintain her weight loss permanently. So lots of mindset, lots of habit work inside the program. But yeah, it's a program that I'm very, very proud of. I've had about 500 women going through that since 2018. So it's been like fantastic.
That's awesome. I mean, 500 women, that's so many people you're helping, and I think for me, the best part about, folks like you who are doing this work is you're helping create the consistency with it. You know what I mean? You're providing the knowledge so the person can continue to do it long term, rather than like as you described, a little like a yo-yo diet where we're constantly shifting, changing, but we're giving each other like the tools to add to our tool belt so we can continue to maintain this habit, this lifestyle long term.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. And yeah, like that's really important to me as a nutritionist as well, to make sure that my clients can maintain the habits and behaviors that they develop when we work together. And one thing that I will ask my clients when I see them during our check-ins is, how are you enjoying this process? Like, is it like easy, simple enough for you to keep doing long term? Are you enjoying it? Be completely honest with me. And if they tell me, this is amazing, save so much time, enjoying my food, then perfect. We know that we're on the right track. But if they tell me, you know what, it's a little bit overwhelming, I've been spending too much time in the kitchen, we will change it. Like inside the program, there isn't like a fixed framework that they need to follow, and we won't move from there. We won't shuffle from there. It's something that, all right, this isn't working for you, let's make it work for you. Let's change things here and there to make sure that it works for you. So that's very important, the sustainability, because the reality is that losing weight isn't that hard. You can go on a keto diet tomorrow and lose a heap of weight by the end of the month. But maintaining your weight loss and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, that's the tricky part. So that's where people should focus on the maintenance of the approach and also the lifestyle.
Definitely. So what should a client expect when they do work with you? Like, what does the process look like if someone wanted to come and work with you and work on these things?
Yeah. So the process to I guess reach out and sign up for the program is via my social media channel. So they can just go to the link in my bio and reach out to me. Now, I do have a call that I do before. So it's not something that you can sign up on your own from the landing page. It's more so a call that we have, because number one, I want to make sure that I can help you. There's some women that I can't help, and what I do is I refer them to a general practitioner or a dietitian who specializes in a certain area. So that's very important. Make sure that I can help you. And number two, I need to make sure that we're the right fit to work together, because it's a coaching program. So I will be coaching you. So it's very important that we get along and that we have that we can work together for the next 3 months. So that's the reason why I have those goals. And what they can expect from me is an individualized approach. I'm big on really understanding what you're going through, your lifestyle, and from there setting up a strategy so that, again, you can, instead of changing things dramatically from your lifestyle and me coming with a list of rules and here are the rules, follow them and you're going to get results. It's more about, okay, this is your lifestyle and let's optimize things within your lifestyle, make things better so that it doesn't feel like a drastic change. It's more so like a smooth transition and just doing things better with what you're currently doing. Because a big mistake that I see out there is that people, they put their lives on hold for weight loss. They stop going out, they stop having a glass of wine, they stop eating chocolate, they stop doing the things that they really enjoy doing. They lose the weight, and then what they do after that, they just go back to their life, living their lives. And that's when they experience this yo-yo dieting effect. So in my program, instead of doing that, we will grab your lifestyle and incorporate all of those things that you enjoy doing, just make them healthier and make sure that everything is part of your lifestyle, so you don't feel like, oh, Christmas comes and I'm off track, or my birthday comes and I'm off track. It should be like a steady lifestyle more than anything.
That's so true, because I think one of the things, like, I like to have a beer, and I think one thing when I think about weight loss, especially in the past, is like, I can't have alcohol because it's the carbs and it's gonna hold. I'm not gonna be able, but I like to have a beer. So getting rid of those things that I enjoy is not something I really want to do, So I think it's totally correct that we need to have programs and people willing to work with us within our lifestyles so we can, as you said, the goal, maintain our weight loss rather than just drop weight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that example, because there's another example, chocolate, for example. My clients, when they come and work with me, they think that I will tell them to get rid of chocolate. They're like, Ange, I have some chocolate in the cupboard, but you know what? I'm just going to get rid of it so we can start this program. I'm like, why do you want to get rid of it? They're like, oh, because I love it so much. I have one piece and I lose control and I need to have the whole block. And what I do instead is, if you like chocolate, let's add chocolate every single day and make it part of your plan, because right now chocolate is like your weakness, or you have given so much power to chocolate that the worst thing that we can do is we avoid it, we get rid of it, and then once you're finished with the program, you see a block of chocolate and you're going to eat it all because you felt restricted. You feel like you shouldn't be having it. So what we need to do is we need to neutralize that food and take some power off that food, so that the same way that you have some frozen peas and carrots in your fridge, you can have some chocolate sitting in your cupboard and not being like constantly thinking about it. So, and the way to do that is to make sure that you make it part of your plan. So in your mind, you'll be like, I love chocolate, but I can have it every day. Like, it's part of my plan. So there's nothing like wow about it. It's just chocolate. So, and with the beer, the same applies. Like, if you want to have a glass of beer or a bottle of beer, 100%, just add it in. It all comes down to how you balance your overall diet, not just like one specific food.
Yeah, I know. I love the idea of taking power away from the things that we identify as guilty pleasures, right? The chocolate, the beer, whatever that is for folks, is just normalizing it. I think that's an excellent way of looking at food in general, or things that aren't, air quotes, healthy for us to eat consistently. If we just make them normal parts of our everyday life and routines, and they don't have that power anymore. I think that's an awesome way of looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be one tip to share with everyone who is watching or listening to this, is that if you love something, incorporate it into your diet. Plan it. That's why planning is such an important thing to do, because when we're not planned, you're just winging it during the day, and that's when you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some chocolate. I'm gonna have more chocolate. I'm gonna have more chocolate, and then you don't realize how much you've eaten like throughout the day. But when you plan it, you can be like, all right, I have my main meals, I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner. Meals are healthy, they're satisfying, they're filling, and my chocolate, I have some chocolate as my treat after dinner. So it's planned, you know what's coming, and you're not setting yourself up for failure with mindless eating and overeating at the end of the day.
That's awesome. So how do they find you on social media? How do they get in touch with you? All that good stuff.
Awesome. So the best way to find me, or where I'm the most active, is on Instagram. So my handle is at the underscore healthy underscore diary underscore. I know, sorry. So that's my Instagram, and on TikTok I'm as the healthy diary as well. So that's the best way to get in contact with me. I have my website, which is www.thehealthydiary.co as well. And yeah, so those will be that's where I'm the most active. I also have a free Facebook community that I would invite your audience. This Facebook group is exclusive for women, so I'm sorry, gentlemen. But in that Facebook group, I share weekly live master classes with everything that you need to know to get to your goal, especially if you're a professional on a tight schedule. So feel free to we can add that in the notes, so people can join that group if they want to.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to include all those links in the notes of the interview and videos, so don't feel like you got to write them all down now, but definitely connect with Angela. She has lots and lots of great info, reels, communities for all different types of folks and different types of work to join. So Angela, thank you so much for jumping on and sharing with us.
No, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, and thank you for everyone listening and watching this as well.
Awesome. I'll be right back with you, okay? All right, guys, that is our episode today of Let's Talk Dispatch. Meal prep. I know folks who are in the first responder world, shift work, dispatchers, that this could be a hard subject. And like Angela said, folks who just don't like to cook. I hear you. I get it. And for those folks, please check out the information in the bio section of this video. Connect with Angela so she can give you some tips and tricks to continue to live healthy, so we can continue to help people in the line of work that we choose. Until next time, stay raspy, everybody. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Let's Talk Dispatch. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube at The Raspy Dispatcher, follow us on Instagram, and check out Let's Talk Dispatch anywhere you listen to podcasts. I'll see you next time, and stay raspy.